Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet rows 7 to 9 of the For the Love of Texture Afghan. This is a free crochet pattern on my blog, so I'll link it below if you're interested. We are at the end of row 6, which is our first panel. So we are at the last stitch of the row. I've marked this with a stitch marker just so that I know where to work my final stitch. So I'm just going to remove the stitch marker and we're going to go under both loops, yarn over and draw up a loop so that you have 3 loops on your hook. Instead of yarning over and pulling through all 3 loops to finish off your half double crochet, we're going to drop our current color and we're going to leave a nice long tail so that we can weave in our ends later. And we're going to trim it. We no longer need that color. Alright guys, we're going to pick up color D. I'm using a light gray for this. So we have 3 loops on our hook. And we're going to loop color D over our finger and grab it with our hook. And we're going to pull it through the last 3 loops of our half double crochet. And so you can pull on the tail of color A, pull it tight to kind of close the stitch, and you can also pull on the tail of color D. And that completes our final half double crochet. So let's just mark that with a stitch marker so we don't lose track. Okay, it's time to start row 7. So we're going to turn our work and we're going to chain 1. We're going to remove our stitch marker and we're going to insert our hook under both loops, yarn over and draw up a loop so that we have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through those two loops. And that makes a single crochet. So this is the first stitch of row 7. So going under the front and back loops, we're going to mark it with our stitch marker or safety pin. Now we're going to go into each stitch going under the front and back loops, and we're going to make a single crochet in each stitch across. Okay guys, we're at our last stitch, which is marked by our stitch marker. So just remove the marker, go under both loops and make your last single crochet. And then you're just going to remark that with your stitch marker. So this is what row 7 should look like. Okay guys, for row 8 we're going to be using 2 colors, but you can do this with just 1 color if that's easier for you. If you are just going to use 1 color, just ignore the color changes that I'm going to be making. Okay, so we have our second color here. This is going to be our next panel color, so this is color B. Alright, to start row 8, we're going to turn our work and we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to remove our stitch marker and we're going to go into that first stitch under both loops and we're going to make a single crochet. Mark that with your stitch marker because this is now the first stitch of row 8. Alright guys, in the next stitch we're going to make a single crochet. And into that third stitch, we're going to make a single crochet, but we're also going to change color. So we're going to insert our hook into the stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop so that we have 2 loops on our hook. And we're just going to drop our current color and we're going to pick up our new color, color B. All right, loop color B over your finger, use your hook to pick it up, and we're gonna pull it through those 2 loops to complete our single crochet. So just like before, we're just going to leave a nice long tail for each color, and you can pull on the 2 tails to kind of close up that stitch. So we're just gonna kind of put the tail for color B to the side, but we want to make sure that we crochet over top of the gray yarn, which is color D, because we're going to need it throughout the row. So this is called carrying our yarn. So in this 4th stitch, we're gonna make a puff stitch. So to do that, we're going to yarn over. We're gonna make sure that color D is kind of sitting on top of our stitch. That way we can work over it. So we're gonna insert our hook under both loops and make sure that you're also going under the strand for color D. We're gonna yarn over and we're gonna pull up a loop and pull it up pretty high. So about here, we have 3 loops on our hook. And we're gonna do that 3 more times. So we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook into that same stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. So we have 5 loops on our hook now. All right, 3rd time, yarn over, insert our hook into the stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop, pull it up. We should have 7 loops on our hook. So once more, we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook into the stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop and pull it up. So we have 9 loops on our hook. And what we're going to do now is we're gonna yarn over and we're only gonna pull through the first 8 loops. So we're gonna leave this 9th loop, the last loop, still on the hook. So just pull through those 8 loops and we should have 2 loops remaining on our hook. So at this time, we're gonna drop our current color, color B, to the back of our work, and we're gonna pick up color D. So we're just going to gently tug on color D, and that makes sure that you can't really see color D poking through our puff stitch, which is exactly what we want. So don't pull too tight. We're gonna yarn over and we're gonna pull it through those 2 loops. And that just creates a really nice seamless color change. Okay, so now this time we're going to be crocheting over top of our mustard color. So going into the next stitch, we're gonna make a single crochet. Make sure that your yarn is sitting on top of your stitch. So make a single crochet. And we're gonna make a single crochet in the next 3 stitches, always working over top of that yarn. Okay, so we have 3 single crochets. On our 4th single crochet, we're going to change color like we did before. So we're gonna go into that stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. So we have 2 loops on our hook, and we're gonna drop color D to the back of our work, and we're gonna pick up color B. So you can kind of see the mustard poking through these stitches, so just gently tug, okay? Not too tight though. You don't want your work to kind of scrunch in on itself, but see, you can't really see any gaps now. Okay, yarn over, and we're gonna pull through both loops. Okay, and then just pull on color D to kind of close up that stitch. Now, make sure that color D is kind of to the front of your work and it's sitting on top of your stitches. So at this point, we're gonna make our next puff stitch. So we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook into the stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna do that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. So we should have 9 loops on our hook. At this point, guys, we're going to yarn over and we're just gonna pull through the first 8 loops and we're gonna leave this last loop on our hook. All right, so we have 2 loops remaining. Now drop this color to the back of your work and gently tug on this color to get rid of any gaps and kind of tighten it up a little bit. Yarn over and pull through both loops to change color and finish that puff stitch. Now we're going to make sure that our mustard color is brought to the front of our work and it's sitting on top of our stitches, and we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and on our 4th single crochet we're going to change color. So when we get to this point and there's 2 loops on our hook, we're going to drop our current color and we're going to pick up that second color, the mustard, yarn over and pull through both loops to complete that single crochet. Now pull on your gray yarn and bring it to the front of your work so that it's sitting on top of your stitches, and we're going to make a puff stitch. So going into that stitch, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. We're going to do that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. So at this point, guys, we're going to yarn over and just pull through the first 8 loops, leaving this last loop on your hook. So now we have 2 loops remaining. So we're going to drop our mustard, we're going to pick up our light gray and gently tug to remove any gaps. Yarn over and pull through both loops. And that makes our puff stitch. So you're going to repeat this, making 4 single crochets followed by a puff stitch all the way across until there is 2 stitches remaining. So with color, making sure that you're crocheting over top of color B, we're going to insert our hook into that stitch and make a single crochet. And then this stitch marker marks our last stitch, so just remove it and go into that stitch and make our last single crochet and mark that with your stitch marker. Alright guys, so this is what row 8 is looking like. This is actually the wrong side of our work, which is exactly what we want, because our puff stitches, if you notice, they don't really show up on this side, but if you turn your work, they really pop on the right side, so on the other side, which is what we want. Okay, at this point, we're no longer going to need color B. You can carry it up if you would like to, but I personally don't, so I just trim my tail here. And we're going to continue on with our light gray or color D. So we're going to turn our work to start row 9, chain 1, and we're going to remove our stitch marker. We're going to go into that first stitch and make a single crochet. Mark that with your stitch marker. And we're going to single crochet in each stitch across. So if it helps, you can tilt your work to the so that you're looking at the top of your stitches, so it's easier to see them. So this is our puff stitch here, front and back loop. So go under both loops and make your single crochet. Into the next stitch, make a single crochet, and so on. Okay guys, when we get to our stitch marker, that means we're at our last stitch. So just remove it and make a single crochet into that stitch, then remark it with your stitch marker. So this is what row 9 is looking like. So as you guys can see, we can't really see our yarn poking through. We can a little bit, and we can really see those puff stitches pop out. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope it makes crocheting the For the Love of Texture Afghan a little bit easier. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'm excited to see your blanket. If you'd like to share your creations, please take a picture. You can send it to me via email at thispixiecreates@gmail.com, or you can tag me on Instagram at thispixiecreates. I love seeing what you guys make, and I just really hope you enjoy this blanket. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.